Hello everybody, welcome back. I know I said I would play through, but last night was crazy and this morning was crazy. Had a lot to do, so... And that's why I'm chewing on something right now. Anyways. Oh! Nope, he's dead. That's it. That's over. Well, I wasn't kidding. Oh, that wasn't the prime? You do this and this. This first. Okay. That was ugly. Okay, I'm good.
Commander, set that nuke and get out! We can't hold them! Damn it! Suppressing fire! Cover your flank! Cover your...
Yeah, I know, I gotta save. Okay. Well, while this is all going on, I guess I continue my story from yesterday. Where was I? I think they had... I told a little bit about Reddick's past.
Of course, it was all for nothing.
And...
I can't let you disrupt what I've become. You do
they met Khan.
But what if they had bound?
Went to the forest.
Would the Protheans still exist?
Met Cable.
Submission not preferable to
Saved him from the
extinction?
stuff.
Do you really believe?
But once I understood this, I joined the Sovereign.
You're like every other.
The Sovereign needs me to find them. But as tools, they are useful.
What was
They will
I...
survive.
Tell me why.
What happened after
Conduit
that?
is the key to your destruction and my salvation. Sovereign needs my help to find it. That is...
You were a spec.
Then I think...
Shields disabled.
No, not shields disabled. I didn't want that one. Eh. Aha! Anyways, man, it's hard to remember what exactly happened. Oh, they went back to the inn and met this one druid that was with the magistrate, I guess, who had two other followers with him that called Zamaria, or my wife's character, a tasty treat and stuff, and was really creepy to them. They felt creeped out by him, but he was sort of like a big hairy human. I describe him as Wolverine from the first X-Men movies. He looked kind of like that, except without the long hair. If he did have long hair, it was in a ponytail.
Right, hang on.
Anyways, but he didn't. And without like the super sharp teeth. He had pretty sharp canines, but yeah, Sabretooth. Did I say Wolverine? I meant Sabretooth.
I can't believe that Ash did.
And then
How could we just
There was no time.
why me?
It wasn't
Cable came up and made him feel uncomfortable because
It may have filled
they
the
had
missing
been
pieces.
You want
like they had fought in the past. Yeah. And
Relax, Commander.
he
Embrace
got his
eternity.
butt kicked by Cable pretty heftily. But from there, oh, this is so darn far back. I'm sorry. From there, they decided to take a rest before they leave, and the magistrate gave them a lot of really nice things because she'd been out in the world for quite some time, so she had seen a lot. And
Incredible. I never thought.
Did the vision
It's
make it?
a distress call.
had like
What about the conjurer?
There-
gained
that is why Sarah
the,
needed
a lot of
following
these
everyone.
things
It is
How
the-
come you never
through her just life.
without the
And
cipher,
she's a high
images
elf,
and
so she's
visions
lived a
were
long
never clear.
time. She's pretty
Only
old.
now do
We
I-
need to get to Hive.
Forget it. The mule relays
Um,
inside the
The
terminal.
conduit sign?
I am sorry. The joining is exhausting.
And
Commander, there's a convoy nearby.
Set the link
Patching
up.
it through.
Commander Shepard.
they spend the night together and prepared. And that's when
Yes, we saw mention
two
of
dark
this on
elves
your
they met
report.
at the magistrate's place showed up,
Essential machine.
and
It's highly possible Saren is
sort
using false
of
information to throw you.
Understood.
like asked her if she served Loth or anything, and then they
Forwarded the mission update. Ambassador Udina
from
wants us to report
there
back to this. Yes, sir.
they showed up at her apartment when she had convinced them that she was not with Loth or had no idea what was going on, so that they could help her remember, and they helped her meditate. And one of them was named Dirk, the male. There was a female and a male, and Dirk gave her a piece of message paper, which just like is able to write on it back and forth so many times, but it only has like 3 uses. The message paper he gave her.
Good job, Shepard.
The ambassador is correct.
Patrols are stationed at every mass
Um,
relay linking Citadel space to the terminus system.
How many ships are you sending to
Milos
attack?
is only accessible.
And then
Time for discretion, Commander.
she was
Saren's greatest weapon was secrecy.
able to
Saren's
remember
master
most of it,
manipulator, the
or a lot of
conduit
it.
Distraction from his real plan to attack the Citadel.
Mainly like that her father served
And then only in
under Loth somehow, and
You detonated a nuclear.
Your style serves
Then,
you well in
uh,
Traverse, Commander.
If Saren finds
Ambassador Udina.
There are serious. It's just politics, Commander. You've done your job.
then they went and started their quest all the way to
systems until further notice.
Ubom, like I said before. Ran into some orcs, ran into some
Commander, I've got a
A
message
troll.
from Captain Anderson.
ran into some ogres,
What did he
Only
want?
said to me,
and then of course ended up in Ubom, found it empty, found some nice treasure. Oh, that's right. I was gonna say before, I have this character in my DM campaigns that
Logged.
appears to extremely unlucky people and extremely lucky people. And for some reason, I have really good
In a report later today, Emily Wong investigates corruption
luck,
of the Citadel,
or whatever you want to call
uncovers
it.
a full-blown crime
My
syndicate.
RNG is super high because the only time he appears is when someone either rolls 3 natural 1s in a row or 3 natural 20s in a row. Well, the character I was playing to help them out, which was a dwarf named Loken, who showed up with the magistrate and was like, hey, I'm looking for my Uncle Q. I'm not with the magistrate. I'm just looking for him. And they're like, we know him. And was going to take him to see Carter and stuff.
Solarian excavation team has run into an unexpected problem after unearthing
Rolled
a
3
protein
natural
source.
20s in a row
Now our protesters
first.
have blockaded the
And then a
nest,
dragonborn,
claiming that artifacts
like,
of the
demigod
engineers,
appeared
as the
and
Hathar called them, should not
was
be
like,
disturbed.
wanted to just witness
The excavation team has
like,
appealed
what's going on with Loken and stuff because he rolled 3 natural 20s, so he was there. He only ended up fighting one thing while he was there and showed how powerful he was, but that was because perchance he ended up close to this creature and it rolled and ended up attacking him instead of anyone else. But other than that, this dragonborn named Dalmok would just
You obviously.
kind of stand by the side and let everyone fight, and if someone died, he
What are you running for?
or was injured so bad he wouldn't do anything.
You do spend most of your time in space, Commander.
Very neutral.
As we have it, we don't stand up for ourselves. No one else will.
I thought the lesson.
Perhaps so, Commander.
Because they have bigger.
At some point,
The way you think.
that's when my friend's, who's also kind of a friend of mine, but my friend's cousin, joined us as a
Glad to see some humans growing up.
half-orc paladin.
Excuse me.
And
My business.
the reason I
Very well, Commander. My
play a
apologies.
character
We've heard
is because
the support of the first human specter would be.
they
The occupation of Shang-Chi.
It's still a powerful symbol, Commander.
they don't
It's the
have
only human territory ever occupied.
You have the right to
like the continent and the thing I've created is a little difficult for just the three of them, and it's D&D is new to them, so I was like, I'll just add someone, then I'll be able to play it and they can learn from, you know, this character and stuff. And I play my characters that I have that join them fairly neutrally. Like, they don't do much really. I don't give anything away, and I don't
It's Commander, actually.
Of course.
give them like the best stuff that you can give them, kind of thing.
Humanity on this one. Just
Don't
like
try to
I
sell.
need you to
Although they did find,
I've purchased the monthly limit and I need
and the reason I bring him up is because when they entered the forest and his cousin came, Dalmok took Loken away for some tests, and
What is this?
I don't know. It helps me stay focused. and
they
keeps me
were
sharp. Nothing gets by me when I'm on it.
If you know
The
the
negotiation. If I don't get this,
they were
done,
left
I'll be a
with
wreck.
just the
My
three of
assistant will
them,
take over, and
You should
that-
put some trust.
my assistant-
or just the
no
four of
reason
them with
to
Matt,
respect us until we show
with
them
his
who's in
cousin,
charge.
and
That's what it took.
Why is this deal
So
so?
if I don't get the drug, my assistant
but
will take over
he
and mess up
doesn't,
the whole
he
thing.
can't
It'll be
join
a
as
disaster.
often,
You should put some
unfortunately.
No
So
race will respect us until we show them who's in charge.
Healer, you've got
All the top negotiators.
so I was like,
are
okay, I'm just gonna have to have
It's the
Loken
way
be
the game
there
is played.
for now, because they still
Nate, I'll tell you what.
need a little bit of
Last
little
time
bit of
we
help.
used them,
You won't be doing
I
this.
don't know anymore. I get so tired.
There's
Um,
no shame.
So when they got to Ubom, they found, and I didn't make this decision until after they found the armor, but when they got to Ubom, they found a treasury with like these dwarven armors in them, which none of them are dwarves, and they weren't able to use any of them.
I know, I'm sorry.
So it's kind of,
To go to Ilos.
they were like, oh, that's not cool. And then
You can be in the terminal system
they didn't have
and
Loken or
If we steal the
And
Norman,
if you're the only one who can stop him, sir.
Raz
So I'll
is
do whatever it
the
takes to get
cousin's
you on the Normandy
character's
and off
name.
this station.
stealing the Normandy.
The
Joining them at that point. He didn't, but they had Cable, which Cable's just a half elf. I forgot to mention that.
What's the plan?
That's a response.
And
Leave that to me. Just make sure you're in the Normandy.
There's got to be.
Ambassador.
they ended up
The ambassador.
We don't have a lot of options.
getting on the ship that Cable, after being in the city, Nubon, they ended up getting on a ship that Cable's brother, Cable, was inside of, and they went and investigated the part of the continent that they were supposed to with the magistrate and all these people. And then Cable was like, I have other missions I have to go to. I won't be able to join you unless you want to come with me. And they were like, no, we're gonna just go ahead and kind of go back to what we were doing, which at that point, when they had found out, oh, that's right, in between, before they left with Cable, the assassin told Reddick that Carter was a bad guy and why. Told him about how he assassinated that. I talked about that yesterday. And they wanted to get Q and Bygar away from Carter. So that was their main thing, because Carter and Bygar and Q had all left their hiding place previously to go somewhere where they didn't know. And Bygar was supposed to leave like clues as to where they went in Druidic.
How can you fight your own people, Rex?
Oh, Q
There aren't
told
that many
them that
left.
Carter was a bad guy.
Anyone who
What?
fights us
No, that's not right.
is either stupid or on
Well,
Saren's
he
team.
said something about Carter being something, but he's so incoherent that it didn't go. They were unsure. but then it was just driven home by, or the other way around. The assassin said it first to Reddick, and then Q mentioned something. But he talks babble a lot of the times, and mostly just asks for alcohol. So that all happened, and then they got back from the ship.
Anderson, what are you doing here? I didn't send.
Yeah, banished from the guild. Moment of clarity. Yeah. So they got off the ship. Give me a second. Back at the city, and then decided to go look for Q. Or no, they got dropped off because at U-Bomb, because they weren't getting any like response from any of the people they sent or the group they sent there to begin with. So they were worried, and they were like, hey, the magistrate asked them if they could go into U-Bomb and just investigate. Yeah, that's right. I don't remember the whole full story, babe. I'm just gonna move forward from where I'm at, because that's too far back to start in that point. Does that make sense? Anyways, so it'll be easier once I get to the point where I know what the heck's going on, or remember better. But so the magistrate asked them to go to U-Bomb to look for the missing people, and they went inside U-Bomb and talked to, or they went inside U-Bomb and found it just as empty and couldn't find any like traces of any of the people still, but they hadn't gone down into like the mining sector of U-Bomb. So they went down into the mining sector and ended up finding, before they got to the, like, they got to these elevators that were made by the dwarves to the mines, and Loken was standing at the elevators, but he was almost full naked. Like, he had hardly any clothing left on his body from whatever he was doing with Dalmok. And they were confused. They were like, what the heck? What are you doing here? I thought you were with Dalmok. And Loken's like, he's finished with me. You know, whatever he wanted to learn, he learned and sent me back. And here I am.
Commander?
And then talked about how...
Have their sensors picked us up yet?
Negative.
We talked about how he fought and did some other things.
Joker.
And it was really hot in the plane that he was taken to, because they teleported away. And that's why he lost most of his clothes. And then, without me remembering or thinking about it, Andrew was like, oh, do you want armor? And the only reason his clothes was missing, because I thought, well, Dalmok would not have provided him with new clothes or anything like that. And the time between when he left and got back was only like maybe a month. But then from his perspective, he'd been gone 2 years, because the time works differently on the planes. So yeah. And they gave him some things, and he joined them again. And they went down looking for the missing people. They ran into some Darklings at one point who rode these Steeders, which are just like giant cat's eye spiders. And then we'll have to look into trophy hunting for maybe the weekends, for Saturdays, or I mean for Fridays or something. I know I've talked about that before, but anyways, so they fought some Darklings with Steeders and some Darkling Elders, which are just like taller Darklings, because Darklings are gnomish size. and were able to defeat them and capture one of them, and found out that they worked for, or that he was from a certain place. These Darklings came from a certain place in the caves. And from there, they had him, like, following, but because they used a suggestion spell on him from the fairy dragon they had. But the suggestion spell actually broke, or it's a concentration spell, and once the fairy dragon goes invisible, it can't suggest anything anymore. Is that it? That's all that's gone? This is not good. I'm gonna do this. Yeah, and this. If I can actually bloody hit. Oh, that's right, I can't do 2 powers at once. Back off. This thing's gonna kill me if I'm not careful. Hee. Okay, now I'm gonna do Unity to get him up real quick. Okay. Anyways, so it broke free before they could even get very far with him, and from the suggestion, and then was able to like start getting away, but ended up getting killed while it was trying to escape. Anyways, they found the area in the cave where they were searching around, and they're using locate object, the spell locate object, to find I think it was the drum set that they saw the dwarf carry, because she had little drums that she hung around her neck because she was a bard, and they were like, oh yeah, let's just do that. And so they were following the drum set, had found where that was. It was within like the right distance at one point. I know it's sacked, but I still want to blow it up because it's bad. And it took them a little while actually, because they were like, wait, is it down this side of this cave or in this cave? And they ended up starting to go the wrong way and figured it out, and then they were able to find out where it was exactly. So they had to go down a pretty treacherous place that only the Steeders could cross. But they used Mold Earth to get past it, and were able to get to a certain point where there's a large cave in front of them. And this was the first like map I've made for them, so I got some paper to make maps and stuff, and I haven't had a whole lot of time to make a bunch of maps or anything like that. So I was able to make a map for this, and I have another map now, but they haven't gotten to that point yet, and they may not, who knows, but I want to make some more that would go in line with what they're doing. Anyways, so they made it there, and ended up finding that there was actually more prisoners than they thought, because there was more people, but the people that had gone down and looked for him, and even the group before, had been ambushed by these Darklings. And little did they know, and this is a secret that now my wife gets to learn of, but it's not a big deal, but that those Darklings that they fought in the first place and found were headed, like, I had flipped a coin and rolled dice to find out if this was the case, but were headed to set up another trap in order to catch anyone else who might come down, and so the trap would have been set for them if they had not headed in as soon as they did, and kind of thing, because they contemplated stopping and waiting and stuff, but they didn't. So in the same place that everyone else was trapped, they'd already passed, and they actually had seen things, investigated, and found things that they're like, oh, looks like someone may have been here, blah blah blah, but never, like, they didn't fully like figure out what was going on. So they were headed to set a new trap, and that's who they ran into. So they weren't the ones being trapped, so the people in the area like had no idea that they were like even there. But from there, they were able to... Wait a minute, where am I supposed to go again? I've forgotten since yesterday. From there, they're able to like set certain plans to try to get an advantage, and they did okay. I mean, they probably could have done a little bit better with the stuff they had, but they used what they could. And Darklings, they don't like light. So there were some makeshift short towers inside this cave that the Darklings hid above, so that they could like pounce down on people who came by. And they lit some of those towers on fire, which is pretty funny. So that they could gain like the advantage on them. That's right, it's this way. We'll look over here real quick for so they lit these towers on fire, and the bright light and fire was like not good for the Darklings. Didn't give them disadvantage, but then they used other spells that like made more light. Cause one of them, the Dark Elf Rowan, she's a sorceress, and she has several spells that are very useful for things like that. So they did stuff like that, and then ended up having to, or finding the prisoners and like opening up the cage and having them help fight, because there was like a Goliath and another human that was sent to help them, that were still kind of somewhat fresh. They weren't great. They had been beaten pretty badly and poisoned previously to a certain point, so that they wouldn't be able to fight back as well. Because Darklings aren't all that strong. Their whole thing is like to en masse take over kind of thing, or conquer people en masse. But there's not many of them, since they come from the Underdark and stuff. Anyways, there they had to fight a cleric, an evil cleric, that tried to... Is this? No, I'm gonna go this way. That tried to actually insta-kill. He had an item on him that was given to him by someone that was like a demon, which they found out later, so that's not anything. Given to him by his demon master, but it could one hit kill someone if they didn't roll high enough, and almost did, but he only had time to use it once. My gosh, and ended up missing, which was good for them. And then they freed everybody and like took this item, which was bad for, if anyone like neutral or righteous picked it up, it would be very, very damaging to them. So, and since Rowan had gotten poisoned or gotten cursed before by picking up a dagger from a troll, then they were real cautious about that kind of stuff, and so before they picked it up, she detected magic, which for her is just a cantrip because of her race and class and stuff. Finding out that they shouldn't pick it up at all, so they, without touching it, put it into what they have, which is a ring of holding, which is something that the magistrate gave them. I have this thing. Give me a second. I have this thing where I call it the gnome games, and a garden gnome like character. There's a bad guy called a Red Cap in D&D, or not a bad guy, a fae called Red Cap, which is kind of like what he is, but he's not. But he's like a garden gnome that transports them to a different plane of existence, his plane of existence, which is like a game show sort of thing, where they can learn prizes. Where they can win prizes.
This is the command center for the
And they went, and so whenever we like get together and play a different game that's not D&D, that's what's happening, is their characters are being transported to this place where they can win prizes. And so whenever we play a game and whoever has like wins or has the highest score, so if I win, then whoever's second kind of thing gets to spin the wheel for these prizes. And if it's, and the wheel that I have is just on my phone, and there's some that are just like, there's a lot of nothings, and some that are just like pretty normal standard stuff that shouldn't be too awfully difficult to get. So, you know, so they're not really super great to win. But so if we play any other board game, that's what happens, is they go into the gnome games. This thing doesn't overheat even without the overkill. Crazy. Maybe I should add something else to it. This is something to do. Sneak in and activate one of these while they're doing that. Go around and activate the others on any other difficulty. Anyways, so she won a ring of holding in one of the games, and then, but it was only to a certain weight. The magistrate was surprised that there was something like that, because she owned a ring of holding, but it was so like ancient. This is what they don't know, which also doesn't matter. It was so ancient and like such a legendary item, because it's an infinite ring of holding, that the fact that there's another thing that's a ring of holding that doesn't have infinite in it, but such a small thing to hold items, was made it like, she's curious about it, so she traded her infinite ring of holding for the other one, and she told them that it would take, because in D&D it would take like years for several magic people to even enchant something like that, and time and gold, like it would be super expensive, and the time spent would be crazy.
That's a chest.
Hold on. Something's happening. Sounds like...
It's probably in Prothean. This
Messages.
incredible.
What's it say?
It said something about.
Cannot be stopped.
Okay. Now that we've saved, we won't ever have to go back to that part. Way back in the back. So they were able to get a Ring of Infinite Holding, and I had to decide as a DM whether or not they had to touch something to put it in there, and decided that that would not be the case. Like, where I get the idea of it is from a manga, which I thought was cool. It was just like this manga that talks about spatial rings. Are there stairs up? Interesting. So you could go up here and have some cover. Yeah, so they'd have spatial rings, and well, that was scary. And they could put stuff in these spatial rings, and some of the that's right, just go straight. Some of the spatial rings like have only so much they can hold, and some of them are infinite. It's a weird manga. Anyways, so I was like, oh, that sounds cool. I want to, like, because a ring is such a small thing, and it's so good to have something like that to put stuff in. And in like Skyrim and stuff, you can enchant rings to, or you could, not in Skyrim, in Oblivion, enchant rings to summon weapons, because you use, or conjure weapons, because you could conjure weapons in that game. And so I was like, that'd be cool if it could be enchanted to hold stuff or stuff like that. So that's what they have. Instead of a bag of holding, it's a ring of holding. And I decided that they didn't have to touch anything, so they just have to get a certain distance from it. So she sucked that into the ring of holding, and didn't find anything else that was really that great to take, and none of them could use this item because it's an evil item. And I got it straight from the D&D stuff that they give you. I was like, oh, I'm gonna use that. So I don't have a ton of time to make up all the things that I want to for D&D, really. For their stuffs, because sometimes we do D&D like twice or 3 times a week if we can, and sometimes we don't do it for like 3 weeks, so there's that too. Anyways, so they found that, and then so I added some of those things. They found that, and then they ran into, on the way out, like, they got everybody, and there were even more people than was supposed to be, kind of thing. But they got everybody that they were supposed to get, and then ran into, plus some others, and ran into some demon, or a demon, on the way out, that demanded, and this demon was like, I don't know if they could have figured out a way to survive.
It's a trap. Saren must have set an ambush.
I don't think Saren's behind us.
But they didn't know that, and so, and even then she had like things with her and demanded the amulet back, and told them that if they gave the amulet back, she would leave them alive, because it was her master's amulet, which means her master must be pretty powerful, because she was a pretty powerful demon. And they found out later it was a good thing that they didn't tangle with this thing. So
you are not. I do not.
They went ahead and
you are safe.
Are you
like
non-organic analysis system.
Why did you
must break the citadel?
Came to an agreement that they would be unharmed, kind of thing, if they gave back the amulet. They worded their words actually fairly carefully and well, for the most part. And then
that will communicate
they
all
went
the
ahead
stations.
and
The Reapers no walk through the city. Their fleets. These within a few centuries, the Reapers have
gave the amulet back,
every Prothean in the galaxy. Our world,
and
of all
the
evident mindless husks, no longer capable of independence.
the
in the end, what does it matter?
demon left with her and the two others, but she also had an Earth Myrmidon, which is just like an Earth elemental with armor.
We set
And
to conserve, but the genocide of an entire species. I began eventually.
There were hundreds of
left it
species
behind, and they had to
out
fight it.
You just shut them down? You killed them?
Because it wasn't really part of the
This I see yet they vowed to find some way to stop the Reapers.
the deal they made, really. So they just didn't realize that.
To the Citadel, the Keepers ignored it. Correct. Saren will override the Citadel. It will
So
through the conduit. Follow Saren. He will lead you to your destination. It is logic, like those keeping it, but this time the signal failed. The Keepers
Sovereign's the largest
sovereign, but the Reapers slowly. Now
so they
Sovereign
killed
is
it.
involved.
They were able to defeat it. It actually wasn't that. So throughout this thing, I'm testing their skills and stuff too. So I'll throw some things at them that are just not that dangerous for maybe even characters at their level. So then
they used it. I do not. I only know they succeeded in their mission.
so then they left and ended up like having to go all the way back to. Oh no, they got. Did you guys get picked up again, or did you have to travel all the way back to the city? I don't remember.
It's tragic. For all their great achievements, the Protheans lost everything, just like my people. Even their last.
Sorry, I keep having to mute because I've got my sinuses are acting up for some reason. So they got picked up. Yeah, they got picked up by another ship. That's right. It wasn't a cable ship this time. They actually had to wait a little while. Anyway, throughout all this stuff, Nilbog keeps appearing and like just being weird and funny. Oh yeah, that's right. They had message paper from the magistrate, which allowed them to tell them that they were like ready and safe and stuff. So when they did that, they sent a ship and told them that it would be a couple days. And so they stayed in the city, Newbomb, and stayed safe as best they could, which was fine, because, again, I like roll dice and flip coins to see if anything might be after them, or if anything might be there, and nothing was. They got lucky. So, they ended up getting flown back, and from there, they, let's see what happened next. I'm trying to remember. Oh, from that point on, like, they learned what the magistrate's really there for, like, setting up a foothold for, sort of a revolution. But, she mentioned there's, like, so the Elven capital has like kind of good people in it, but also some bad people, and the bad people are helping the human king like do the bad things that he wants to, control his people and be a bad dictator technically. So the people from the Elven capital are not too happy with that. A lot of them, the majority. But they can't, because of a treaty, they can't really interfere unless they do it politically, kind of thing. So through politics instead of like militarily. But because of his like stranglehold on people and bribing people and stuff, they have not been able to do anything that way. And the only way the magistrate can do anything is if she... And she has, like, she's working for someone who's trying to do stuff politically, who's a part of the council with the Elven city. And, she sort of has had to cut ties to that city and stuff in order to accomplish what needs to be accomplished, because they're afraid the political isn't going to work. So they...
The conduit. It's incredible.
So they want to... Come on, let me go. So they want to set up a backup, which is just them having a military establishment that is for sort of the revolution if necessary. And so they're trying to set up things politically as well as militarily, that if the political fails, the military part can come in, and once they win, the people who are against stuff politically will end up falling into place, so to speak, or being found out and taken out kind of thing or whatever. But it's very tricky and it can take a long time, because she came to this continent under the guise of just fully establishing a city there, a town that would be effective so that the mainland would have more resources, like outside of what they already have. You know, they want to colonize all the continents, so to speak. And actually one of their biggest goals is finding a continent that is safer, because so far they haven't found any continents that are really that safe, like to find a safer continent. And this one is not so much. They've found orcs and stuff like that, which the orc parties they've found leads them to believe that might be a lot of orcs on this place. And then the hover above the one part of the continent, there was so many undead, and they even saw a temple that could be to these snake people called Yuan-ti, which they fought a Yuan-ti on the continent too, in the forest. It wasn't supposed to really attack them, it was there to observe, but it decided to attack them due to, again, rolling and stuff. It decided to. So there's that, which is no fun. Oh, shoot. I think is this the one that I might equip some stuff, some bullets on my assault rifle that are, the ammo upgrade that are good for synthetics. So let me do that real quick. I don't think I have anything better. Just real quick, since this is the final mission. No, I don't have anything better. If I wanted it, it'd be a Kovalyov X, but don't have that. So, let's see. Good against synthetics would be, and high explosive X would be the tungsten like ones, but I don't have any very high. Oh man, VII. That's just not great. I'll do it though. So do I have anything that has tungsten? I do. What kind of tungsten? It's VII. So this one will be, I think, Inferno rounds, maybe? No. Let's put Snowblind rounds on it. See what kind of... See if I have a Volkov. Nope. these Russian-made weapons are super good. I don't know if that's what it is, but these Karpovs and Volkovs and stuff seem Russian. So yeah, let's do that. I don't know why it doesn't have that to begin with. And then the Inferno rounds, which I think is just IX. Yeah, okay. Sokolov, yeah, okay. Anyways, where was I? Let's check armor real quick. Nothing great there. No. Doesn't look like there's anything that great. It'd be great if I had to like Colossus X armor, but I don't. Okay. And then we'll check this boy. Oh, I like the Predator one with the shield as high as it is. It's pretty crap. Ursa, also kind of meh. Yeah. Let's see if there's any better at this. Oh my goodness. I like the Savant there. Yeah. See if there's anything better than that Savant. Not really, no. So we're doing that for sure. Okay. He also has the Volkov. IX. He's got the Stiletto, which is not as good. So we're gonna go Karpov. And I know I do this usually. I said I'd do this after stuff, but since we're on the final mission, technically I'll do it now. There we go. Looking good. Okay, now, yeah, I'm gonna change out all of his. Nope, that's what we have. All of his stuff. I think that's all we've got. This is the Cryo VII. Oh, looks like I don't have any more of that. Snowblind, that's what it is. And they are better. Explosive IX, yes. Cool. I like that. Oh, the combat exoskeleton. What's this? Kinetic exoskeleton. Didn't I get a better one? Yes. This is going to be very helpful in this last mission. I should not have... I know I shouldn't have fought that Krogan with my bare hands. I know. I just thought it would be funny. Sort of. Okay, Polonium. Do I have higher than VII Polonium? I do not. Whoops. So... Ooh, frictionless materials, huh? Kinetic stabilizer. Wow. Yeah. Got a lot of really good stuff here. All of a sudden. Scram rail, which would be... cool. I'll just have to upgrade my other stuff too then, I guess. Nope, not that one. Kinetic coil, I think I already have that, right? Yeah, kinetic coil IX, frictionless materials IX. Okay, and then combat optics IX. Kinetic coil, no. IX, cool. Then this will be combat optics and VII. Wait, this is IX, right? Frictionless materials, IX. And this one will be kinetic coil IX, and frictionless materials IX. That's what I want for that one. This is the only X one I have, and I will accept it the whole time. Shield interface IX. I think that's all I have. Yeah, shield interface IX. Kinetic exoskeleton. IX. Okay. So, no, we already got that. So then we have kinetic stabilizer, kinetic coil, scram rail. That's good. Combat optics, and I'm actually going to give him frictionless materials on that one. I might give him, instead of kinetic, no, that's good. Yeah, I like that. Rail extension. Not that this one's that big of a deal. Combat optics and scram rail X. Kinetic coil X. What? I didn't know that was a thing. We'll do this first. Why is it at the bottom? How did that happen? Is this going backwards now? How did this happen? Oh, I didn't know that button did that. I just thought it sent me to the top. Level down. Okay, yeah. Okay. That was dumb. Kinetic coil, frictionless materials. Okay. Kinetic coil, frictionless materials, and then combat optics. And I think that's it for that. IX ones, yep. Then we have combat optics, which is the same. For sure, it's the same. Okay. There we go. Looking good. Okay. Now we want to do this, which is scram rail X. No, it's not. And combat optics, I think. Right? You don't really use those. Let's just start with these first. Kinetic coil, yes. Scram rail, yes. Combat optics, yep, I'm okay with that one. Combat optics, scram rail, yep. Frictionless combat optics, okay. Now for her, that one doesn't have any, which I'm fine with. Kinetic coil and scram rail, yep. Scram rail and kinetic stabilizer. Scram rail and kinetic coil. Scram rail and combat optics. Perfect. I don't know why they want me to have this chameleon tool so much. It's kind of a piece of crap. Because I want this one for the logic RS tool for the shield bonus for her. But no. Oh, I didn't even notice I picked up some Quarian. It's so hard to get Quarian armor. Medical. Do I not have that as good as the medical one gets? Show it is. Okay. And I think light armor is the only one she can wear as. No, this one has 2. Meh. Okay. So with that, let's save so we don't ever have to save later on again. Okay. Now we're getting to where we were before. Oh, I don't like that. Let's go here. And here. Let's do this. Okay, so they return back to the city of Kalara, which is the city they're trying to establish. And at this point, they've learned that Q is actually like a name given in lineage to every next court wizard, and it grants them certain power. Like, it makes them even more powerful than most wizards. Technically, every Q is like level 22 plus some.
The Citadel's closing. They're sealing the station.
You didn't recognize a prequel. I'm trying to decide if I should actually read that
Don't
next
let
or
the
I
enemy
want to move
ships
to.
inside the arms.
Yeah, read the prequel. Why not? Yeah, it's supposed to, because it's by the first book the tripods have come, so that makes sense. I would read the prequel. I'm going to, but anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, so it's passed down, and so the wizard before Q, and it like not only does it give them power, but it lets them live longer, and so technically Q was supposed to have already passed on his title, and he just had disappeared. The magistrate's telling them this so far. And he just disappeared straight up, and they have no idea where he's at. And one of the things, when she heard that Q was on this continent, one of the things she wants done is for Q to be found. She just can't do it herself because she's busy, like, being in charge of stuff and helping people to establish things. So she asked them to look for Q, and they were like, well, we were going to anyways, because 1, we like him even though he's lost his mind, and 2, you know, we sort of put him in danger without even realizing it fully. They were supposed to, Bygar said him and Q were going to sneak away, but it never happened as far as they knew, because they never came back. Or have contacted them since. But Bygar said once he gets a chance, he would sneak away from Carter. So at this point, they're like, okay, the next thing we need to do then is to go and actually find Q. Well, the 2 Dark Elves had gone with a Vidalcan, which is another race, onto the sea to investigate this storm that had appeared that keeps them from being able to go back to the mainland. So they're kind of cut off from the mainland even with messages. So the magistrate decided to send Cable and his ship to this place so that they could establish a connection somehow, or to find out what's going on, because his airship is the biggest, and like it's like the flagship of airships, which they're not super big. I mean, there's bigger flagships for the ground or for on the ocean, but these also can go on the ocean. So this airship is has been sent over the storm, and as far as they know, it worked going over the storm, but they can only go so high as well, so they don't know if it fully worked. So these Dark Elves in the Vidalcan have not said anything, have not contacted them again. This is why I have the sniper, it's for these punks. Oh. Pony off, sucker. Not falling for it this time. What we got? We got a Geth here. Cool. Let's go ahead and, can we save? No, wait a little bit. Nope, okay. Oh, it's because there's a bad guy right here. What are you? I believe there's a prime right here. Nope, I was wrong. No prime. Good. Primes are hard. I'm curious as to play this like on the hardest difficulty, but I wouldn't do it until after I played through 3. But I think it would be fun to try to do that. I mean, I probably have to for the trophies, so that'll be a thing. We'll see though. Anyways, so the Vedalken and the Dark Elves apparently have not contacted like anyone yet. They are, how do I breathe? No, I don't actually know the lyrics to that song. Anyways, they've not been in contact with them for a while. But at this point, they decided to go ahead and search for Q, and agreed with the magistrate that that's what they would do. And then the magistrate gave them sort of an ultimatum. She said, listen, you can either, one, you can go ahead and join my cause sort of thing, and you'll have to pretty much do what I say kind of thing going on. Or 2, you can just do your own thing, but be expected to accomplish like tasks that would be helpful to what's going on here. But you kind of get to choose what you want to do when you do that, whereas you wouldn't be able to choose if you worked for the magistrate. She would give you missions, assignments, kind of thing. They decided to sort of freelance it and mercenary it and just do stuff that would help the cause, because their first one was definitely looking for Q, and that's what they wanted to do. They're like, yeah, we're gonna look for Q, you want it done, we want to do that. And then she agreed with that and said, okay, as long as you continue to help out like with the cause and stuff, you know, I'll accept that you can stay on the continent for now or whatever, and you'll be provided certain things because of it. And she asked them to keep their eyes out for like foods and stuff they would find on this continent, because that's the one thing they were having a shortage of and stuff. And they had set up farms just recently and said that, farms aside, they're struggling for these things, and that they had tons of money, but they didn't have anything to pay, pretty much, which is kind of unhelpful, since their group has actually accumulated quite a bit of money, but they haven't been able to buy anything really that great. So if they found any like indigenous foods and such, they should bring that back, and that would be helpful. And as long as they provided like certain things every once in a while, they would be left alone, kind of thing. But if they stopped providing stuff after a certain amount of time and such, they would be asked to leave the continent. But at this point, it's not so much leaving as a continent as they would be put in like tents. Ah! No, Krogan warrior. They'd be put in tents to wait until they have a way back to the main continent. because as of right now, they don't have any way to transport people because of that storm. And any ship they sent keeps just like disappearing. Die. So they need to continue to like be useful to this magistrate, is what she was telling them, or they would be sent back home or sent back to the mainland, and from there they can do whatever the heck they want, kind of thing. They decided to try to be as useful as possible. So far they found actually some trees, fruit trees and stuff that were in a certain area, because Loken, the character I play, and Rowan, the dark elf character that our friend plays, they went out by themselves to do some scouting while the other two kind of did their own thing. Oh, that's been hacked. Let's see. So they've got that going on for them, because they were able to find some things. And the way it works with the magistrate, she's like, the more you find like in a short amount of time, the more time is added to how long you can stay. So if they found like something really great and were able to help in such a big way, then they would probably, oh my gosh, destroyed. These darn turrets. I guess I should switch my pistol and use the high explosive rounds. Then they would probably never like have to leave, kind of thing. But so far they haven't done anything like that. But they did go out after people scouted and headed towards this one place, Fort Badu, which is run by a general of the first like fleet that got there, the first group that got there to establish stuff. But the general, so Badu is the name of the now king, who's bad, and his son is actually trying to overthrow him to get rid of him, because his son is not as wicked as his father. But
the Citadel's closing. They're sealing the station.
But his cousin's a general who set up this Fort Badu on this place, and they've sent several scouts to talk to this guy to see whose side he's on, or to just even see what's going on, and none of them have returned. And so that's one of the tasks that their group decided they might do, is investigate Fort Badu and see what's going on. And at this point, right now, they've gone out and towards Fort Badu to investigate. They saw what they've determined is a flesh golem walking around, and found some evidence of some things, but they're not quite sure what exactly is going on just yet. Because before the fort is this huge crag in the ground, just like a big crack, that leads down into, it's really deep. And it just leads down into darkness as far as I can tell. They've seen, after the flesh golem, what the heck? Honey, the cats have pushed a controller. Can you just hit circle on it, please? Anyways, so they've seen this flesh golem and decided to get away from it and ignore it. Thank you, babe. And on their way to look for Q, they found spikes with like these large ropes and chains and stuff tied to them and put over the edge of the crag. And they look down and see that there's like some mangled, desiccated bodies hanging from these spikes, and they're just like, what the heck is that? And so instead of investigating that, though, they're like, we need to find Q, let's not get distracted. So I've thrown lots of things at them that would distract them from stuff, but they've decided to continue on, which is good. And they ended up finding this cave that they hadn't seen previously because they were in a different area along the mountain. They're trying to follow like the directions that that they think is where Carter and his group went. And on the way, have not really found very many clues, and then they finally found some druid symbol stuff, and I had to do a bunch of like deciding of how things were gonna go, what's gonna happen, you know, who did what happened while they were gone for so long between Carter and Bygar and all that. Well, they found some druid symbols that pretty much just said this way kind of thing, and then assumed that it was Bygar, and then found a druid symbol that was not completed yet and had been sort of like taken apart a little bit, like it was half done and then someone tried to cover it up kind of thing, and ended up running oh no thank you, get away from me, back punk, back. So they went inside the cave that this was in front of. Rex, are you kidding me? Get out of my freaking way, bruh. So they decided that, you know, one of these caves, but there were so many caves, there was like 4 or 5 caves that they didn't know which one to go down. Well, they ended up going down one that was actually really short and like there was nothing in it, and then decided to go down another one. Like they walked in and was like, oh, it's not this one because you can see the back of the cave easy. Obviously not this one. And so they went down another one, which led them to where some bugbears were hiding out. And bugbears usually are like loners, or they've been hired as mercenaries. They don't get along with other races. These bugbears in particular had been like brought together by a bugbear chieftain kind of thing, and they're kind of just like giant ape Wolverine guys that are no fun to be around. But so they fought these bugbears, and there's actually quite a few of them in there, and they got pretty pinned down for a little bit, but they were able to come out of it. They actually do pretty good in combat, this group, my group, and one part is that they're worried about heals, so my wife has cure wounds and stuff and hasn't gotten rid of that one since then, but if anyone gets too hurt, she'll like run up and cure wounds, even if it ends up her being like there's a possibility of her getting hurt, which is funny because she'll run up and then like an attack of opportunity will happen, and that's when I do my real bad rolls. It's in those, and I'm like, dang it. Because as a DM, not only do I want them to succeed, I also, you know, want them to have fun. Like, that's my whole thing, is if my group isn't having fun, I'm doing something wrong. But at the same time, I'm not going to make it easy for them, and I'm like, okay, I want them to be afraid that death could happen kind of thing, right? So I have to, like, consider all that stuff. But so far they haven't even, like, the only time they were close to death was when we were first starting out, and I was trying to figure out, like I didn't know much about how any of it really worked. We were all learning at the same time. But since I have the, like, D&D books and stuff, it was obviously easier for me to figure out the stuff faster and be a better DM. And since then, it's gotten way, way better. But they... See, why did I even go into that? I don't even remember what I was talking about. Yeah, so they ran into these bugbears, and they haven't really, like... They had a little bit of a problem. Some of them got pretty hurt. And at one point they noticed there was a dwarf that was tied up, chained up to the wall in back, which concerned them. And when they got there, they found out that it was Bygar. And the information he had was that he was found out, like, he said he didn't have much opportunity because Carter and his guys are not exactly weaklings. They're all, well, technically Carter's actually an assassin, and his two friends are skilled thieves, like, that he had with him. But Bygar told him that he had sent some of his men to a certain place to check on something, but they'd never returned. And then he had I'm gonna switch to my pistol explosive rounds. He had found these bugbears and offered them things so that they would, like, keep a hold of him and Q, Bygar and Q. So he was like, yeah, Q was here. The bugbears had just chained up for Carter. They're, like, in cahoots for now. And then he said he heard the bugbears talking about like, betraying Carter, but Carter hadn't come back yet. And since then, he's been, like, in and out of consciousness, so he doesn't know where Q's at, if he's still alive. All he remembers is that at some point he was chained up next to him, and they saw there were 2 more places to chain someone, like, crammed to the wall, but that this cave went even further, but it just went to, like, after a while, it was like a half hour down into this small tunnel that ended up going into this underground raging river that there's no way, like, anyone could have survived going through it, kind of thing. But they had, I don't know if they changed up their spells, or I'm pretty lenient on some things, because since it's kind of their first campaign and they're fairly new to it, and my wife's like, I did plan on changing my spell for this with her druid, and I forgot, but I was definitely planning on it, and I trust my wife. I'm like, okay, so you wanted to change this spell for that spell, go ahead, you know, we'll say you did it. And either that or she already had still the locate object spell, and I don't remember if she was trying to, or no, they had scrying. They had a scroll of scrying or something like that, and they scryed and tried to locate an object on him, or they had locate person. And so first they scryed, found out that Bygar was in some sort of really dark cave, and that he noticed the scrying, because scrying is like, if you have true sight or something like that, or something vision, you can see invisible things kind of vision. It's a skill to have. Then you can see scrying on you, because it's just like a floating monitor orb thing that is just sitting there. And they used it, and he saw them, so he obviously has that, and was talking to this monitor, because he doesn't know who this is technically. He just knows someone's spying on him, but also he's pretty out of his mind. And of course, one of the things he says is like, if you come, bring some alcohol. but they're like, oh, we found him, and they can't communicate with him. They can hear him, I think, is what I found out while reading the scrying spell. Give me a second. But that was about it. They couldn't communicate with him, and so they decided, okay, this guy, you know, they did locate object or person or something like that, and they're like, oh, he's close. Like, he's not super close, but he's close enough to be able to locate him, because the spell is actually a certain distance. It's a good distance, but And so on their search for him, some of them split up somewhat, and my wife went down one specific tunnel, which led to an individual troll that was just sitting there sleeping in this cave. And she ended up accidentally waking it up and fighting it, which she was pretty scared. But because of like the confines of the cave and the fact that this troll is not exactly teeny, because they're not small, even just straight up normal trolls, she was able to actually just defeat it by herself without taking any damage. Plus his rolls for like hitting her were terrible and stuff. I was rolling really bad apparently that day. Anyway, so she did all that, killed that troll. They finally went searching for Key, like they Reddick and Loken climbed up a certain part of the mountain, and that stupid natural one. Yeah, she rolled a natural one for sneaking like up to the, or trying to get away from the troll, because it was like there was a slide down slightly, and
I was afraid you wouldn't make it in time, Shepard.
And
Let's end this.
ended up
You know that, don't you? In a few minutes, Sovereign will
I'll
have
let this
full
play out.
control of all the Citadel systems.
She ended up rolling a natural one trying to get out
The Reapers will return.
and being stealthy.
I've still got a few tricks up my sleeve.
You survived our encounter on Vermeer, but I've changed since then. Improved. Sovereign has upgraded me.
Fancy hardware is not gonna save you.
You don't understand, Shepard. There is a place for organics in the New Order. The Reapers need men and women of action. People like us. Sovereign recognizes your value. You've impressed it. Surrender to the Reapers, and you will be spared. Join us, and we can find a place for you.
I'm just saying enough talk.
No more stalling, Saren. Let's finish this.
Indeedly doodly. Fight me, little woman man. Haha. I'm actually a little scared that this is not gonna go well. I'm going to use immunity real quick. Rampage burst. Bam boom, 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 bam boom. Switch out to my pistol, apparently. Which is not what I wanted. Yeah, this is what I wanted. Yeah. No, that's fine. Headshot. Back to my pistol. Back over to my assault rifle. I know, it's like, what are you doing? Why am I facing the wrong way again? You missed, you missed, you missed. Ouch, you hit. Hold still, pump. Are they? Doesn't matter. Yes. Oh, my shields aren't disabled anymore. Get skewered.
Vigil's data file worked. I've got control of all systems.
Quick! Open the station's arms. Maybe the fleet can take Sovereign down before he regains control of the station.
See if you can open a communications channel.
The Destiny Ascension. Main drives offline. Kinetic barriers down 40%. The council is on board. I repeat, the council is on board.
Normandy to the Citadel. Normandy to the Citadel. Please tell me that's you, Commander.
I'm here, Joker.
Caught that distress call, Commander. I'm sitting here in the Endura sector with the entire Arcturus fleet. We can save the Ascension. Just unlock the relays around the Citadel and we'll send the cavalry in.
You'd sacrifice human lives to save the Council? What have they ever done for your kind?
This is bigger than humanity. Sovereign's a threat to every organic species in the galaxy.
That's why you can't throw away reinforcements trying to save the Council. Hold them back until the Citadel arms open up and the human fleet can go after Sovereign.
What's the order, Commander? Come in now to save the Ascension, or hold back?
Shoot. Sovereign's a huge threat. But the Council, but they're butt
Throw those
heads.
arms open, Joker. We need all our ships focusing on Sovereign, even if it means sacrificing the Council.
Let the Council die to save the galaxy. A tough decision.
Indeed.
I hope you made the right choice.
Well, they were butt heads the whole freaking time.
All Alliance ships, hold formation. Wait for a shot at Sovereign. Nothing else matters. I repeat, nothing else matters.
Commander, we're picking up reinforcements. It's the Alliance. Open a comm channel. This is the Ascension. We're taking heavy damage. Guardian defenses are over. Kinetic barriers are offline.
Commander, they closed the channel.
You're supposed to be the biggest, baddest ship. Why? Just take care of yourself. What the heck? Sorry, but there's a bigger threat. There you go. There it is.
Make sure he's dead.
What? Tali's invisible. Ooh, she's sneaky. She rolled a natural 20 on sneaking.
He's dead.
She's invisible. What the heck? Oh, I was like, what's happening? He's dead, but whatever was put in him isn't. I saw her. Oh, this is like the worst fight in the whole game. Or I should say the most annoying. Yeah, and that's why.
And this station is mine.
Uh-huh, whatever. Synthetic piece of garbage. What? Overheat? Boom. And... no, not that. I want... these. Meh. This can be a pretty easy fight if you... you can get the anti-synthetic stuff. Okay, it's going away. Holy heck. I think it's this fight last longer. Since we're probably gonna finish before I'm done streaming. Well, I mean, we're definitely gonna finish before I'm done streaming. I think we might just either... I know I said we were gonna do Pixelmon today, but my wife's, like, not feeling well, like I said. So I'm not... I don't want to play Pixelmon without her. But...
Sovereign's too strong. We have to pull back.
Negative. This is our only chance. Take that monster down no matter what the cost.
We may just switch over to... See, and I don't know if I want to do Mass Effect 2 yet or not. See, it's jumping around like those dang rubber geth. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. They're annoying. Annoying as all get out. Ba 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 ba. Take this. Overkill. Overkill. I mean, it's gone, but still. Aha! Hey, leveled up, I think. So I don't know if I should play Mass Effect 2 or Achievement Hunt, Trophy Hunt, Achievement. No, not achievements. This isn't an Xbox. If I should like hunt for some trophies in this game, I don't know.
Its shields are down. Now's our chance.
Hit it with everything we got.
Hard on my flank. We're going in.
Go!
Oh no! We've died. Just kidding. Ah, Sovereign. Invincible my butt cheeks. It's Rex.
Captain Anderson, we found them. They're in here.
Take it easy. It's over. You're safe now. Where's the commander?
It's Saren. Oh. Poop eating grin on his face.
We got your message, Ambassador. What's all this about?
No need to get worked up, Captain. I'd like to end this meeting with all my teeth still in place.
You should thank me for what I did. If the Normandy was still grounded, we'd all be dead right now.
I understand, Captain. You did what you had to do. That's not why you're here. We need to talk about what happened to the Council.
Commander Shepard did the right thing. We had to hold our fleet back to go after Sovereign. It's the only way.
I agree, but this also presents us with an opportunity. The Citadel fleets were decimated in the attack. Their losses have made the Alliance stronger. They can't rebuild without us. We need to take the lead in forming a new council, one with a human chairman at its head.
I can see the other races inviting us to join the council, but lead it? That's a whole different story.
The other species are scared. They've never faced anything like this before. They don't know what to do. They want us to step forward. They believe in us because of you, Shepard. You saved the galaxy from Sovereign. You're a symbol of everything good about humanity. Our courage, our strength.
Damn straight.
The ambassador's right. The other races look up to us now. They won't just accept our leadership. They'll welcome it.
Yeah.
Given
as long as we do it right.
Commander, the Alliance will want to know who you think our council chairman should be.
Wow. That's my, like, go-to motto. I don't care. In a good way, though. I'm like, I don't care. You know, it's whatever. But, ooh, I want to choose Captain Anderson since I think Ambassador Udina is a moron.
We're about to go into war. We need someone with military experience. Someone like Captain Anderson.
You make a good case. Captain, are you ready for this?
Yeah, it's not, he's a good loser.
I don't know if any of us are ready for this, but I'll do what I can. So what happens now?
The Reapers are still out there. They're coming. And I'm gonna find some way to stop them.
Shepard's right. We're headed for war with the Reapers. If we lose, it's the end of all life as we know it. We have to show the rest of the galaxy what it takes to survive. With the support of the other races, we can win this battle. With them behind us, we can stand against the Reapers' return and drive them back into dark space.
That was so bad. Dun dun. Cram it up your... What? Feels good. I like. Very nice. I haven't played anything except Mass Effect straight. Which I promised to play Pixelmon, but I haven't yet, and I don't know. Alien doesn't watch anymore. He was the only one that watched me during Pixelmon. Makes me a little sad. I'd like more followers to watch me. Even my wife doesn't watch me fully. I mean, she'll keep the stream on, but she likes to do other things, which is fine. Because she's got stuff to do. She doesn't need to be spending 5 hours a day watching me. So, anyways, while this is going, I'll talk more about D&D stuff. I didn't plan to, but it's all good. So, Reddick and Loken climbed up onto pretty much a higher part where there was more caves, and they ended up seeing Q just standing there on this ledge outside these caves, because he started moving after he was scryed upon, and it was like, I hope this isn't copyright. I'm gonna skip it. I'm scared. Anyways, he was just standing there, and he was like, "Did you bring ale?" And then they said something about they had decided they were gonna use ale to convince him. I'm just gonna look at the trophies real quick, see what we got going on. 9% legendary. Oh, complete Mass Effect 1, 2, or 3 on Insanity without changing difficulty. Complete 2 games, complete all 3 games in Mass Effect Legendary Edition on Insanity without changing the difficulty. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be fun. Establish romantic relationship, Mass Effect 1, 2, or 3. I almost did that. In 2 games, 3 games. Finish Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 with the same character. I plan to do that anyways. Hey, 1,000 enemies. Ooh, 2,000 enemies. Kill 100 enemies, melee attacks. That one would be hard. What? Seriously? This is all the trophies? Didn't I get more trophies? Oh, this is just Legendary Edition. Yeah, there we go. The first game. That's right. So, well, that's weird. There's one for all of them and then one for each individual game. That's actually, I don't like that very much. ME1. Use Biotic Lift 25 times. Use Biotic Throw. Use Biotic Warp. Use Biotic Singularity. Use Biotic Barrier. Stasis. I wonder if this is like you make them use it. Dampening Field, Hacking, Shield Overload, Sabotage. I think it's just yourself. Use Medigel 50 times. Well, I'll be doing that one when I do Insanity. Use Neural Shock 25 times. Find out primary alien council races, extinct races, and non-council races. Codex entries. I'm almost done with that. Complete 5 missions with the Alliance Soldier Squad member. Yuck. Complete 5 missions with the Alliance Sentinel Squad member. Complete 5 missions with the Krogan Squad member, of course. Turian, yes. Quarian. I mean, I didn't know Turian was one of the Quarian, sure. Sorry, sure. Principal, accumulate 75% of total possible Paragon or Renegade points. Ooh. So I gotta be all bad or all good. If I do this, I'm gonna be all good probably. Because I really don't like doing the bad options that much. And that's it. That's not too bad. I like that. So now the question is, do I want to... I don't really want to start a new character, like, just right off the bat. Dang it. That's kind of meh. Yeah, so here's all my games. Hopefully I'll be able to play a lot of them on stream. Outlast. Scary games are dumb to me. Anyways. So, decisions. I'm gonna exit to the launcher just in case. I'm gonna make this decision while taking a break. I need to drink something, a supplement. And then I'll be right back. Sorry, I was saying I'll be right back. It looks like I gotta add Mike to every other scene. It's not working. Nope. Honey, if you're there, let me know if you can hear me when I switch over to be right back, okay? Were you able to hear me? When I switch to the BRB, the Be Right Back one, let me know if you can hear me. I'll talk immediately, so go ahead and just let me know. Yes, no, maybe so? Oh, dang it. Okay. Let me switch up some mic. Sorry, let me switch up some mic stuff real quick, and then it's gonna be a little crazy with the screen, but then I'll be right back after I take care of some stuff. Okay. Now you can hear me. So next one. Nice. When I mute, does it mute? It does. Okay. Can you hear me now? Okay, that should do it. So I just had to switch things up. Okay, I'm coming out. I'll be doing some stuff, taking my cowboy powder and stuff. So just a protein shake thing. Okay, I'm back. Just kidding. Sorry, I was helping my dad get on because he wants to put me on the background, up on the background, but just doesn't. He's not real. He doesn't know Twitch or anything like that very well, so it confuses him. But anyways, excuse me. Black screen for my bros. Oh, if you can hear me, Dad, you might want to just, forgot to say, mute me. Honey, find out if he's got me muted so it's not as annoying. Anyways, we're just going to continue on with Mass Effect 2. Don't know if you noticed YouTube, but that's what we're doing. Before we do, though, let's stop this recording.